Hi, I'm Colleen Nelson, licensed therapist, trauma expert, and fellow badass woman ready to rise up right alongside you. This podcast, Let the Rest Burn, is for the woman who has ignored, attacked, or even silenced her inner voice because she thought it was broken and needed to be fixed. It's for the woman who is ready to rise up and fully step into her desire, her joy, her full power, and make the impact she was destined to make. For the woman who cannot stand one more second waiting, watching, and witnessing the world crumble, and is ready to rebuild and expand into a better future. For a woman who is so done trying to fix the world, she decided to start with healing herself, and she let the rest burn. Hello, and welcome back. It's Colleen Nelson. So good to see you. And I am coming in today to talk about being too much. Here's the deal. I've been called too much from like day one. Surprise, surprise, right? Too much emotion, too much depth, too much energy, too much drama, too much darkness, too much everything. I have been trying to expand myself, I think, from the moment I came onto this earth. It's just something that is innately part of who I am. And to be honest, I think is actually innately part of all of us. We just all learn how to dim our light a little bit at a time. And I was a little extra stubborn about not wanting to dim that light. And it has caused me issues my whole life. I'm going to use the word issues for now, but we're going to reframe this here in a minute. I have struggled my whole life to fit in. I've struggled to belong to any group, community, belief system. It's hard to put me in a box. And it has been incredibly lonely. I get into relationships and my too muchness, my energy, my demand for growth, oftentimes, especially in my younger years, would push people away. I didn't know how to communicate it in a way that was healthy, that aligned with someone's own growth journey. So I became demanding, sometimes a bit of a know-it-all, but also I want growth. I want a partner who's willing to grow with me, always. I want someone who's too much too. And that didn't really make me the best girlfriend. So I struggled to be in relationship. And in fact, often the pattern would be that I would like somebody, they'd not be interested in me for whatever reason, and I would pursue them. I'd get them to be in relationship with me almost begrudgingly, like, okay, finally, I'll just give you a chance. Begrudgingly get into a relationship with me. And then I would adore the hell out of them and push them to grow and show up and be powerful and be energetic. And it would freak them the fuck out. And they'd usually cheat or get out or leave. And I would pine for them for a while, especially the big ones. I would struggle to let that go. And the moment I let it go, all of a sudden a lightning rod like hit them in the head, or a light bulb went off. And they're like, oh, wow, she's a special kind of woman. I need to go chase her. And literally instantly, I have someone I'm the one that got away. I'm the one that they're madly in love with. And then they actively pursue me, and I've outgrown them at this point, right? So there's my work in this, clearly. And that was a younger pattern. And there's also this component of, why am I settling for people that are not at my level? Why am I pursuing people that give me the space to push them instead of attracting someone who will push me? Well, the biggest reason is there's just more people out there that are broken, right? There are just more people out there that need pushing than who can push. That's just the truth. And so I found myself settling for friendships, for relationships, for communities, for experiences that kept me safe and kept me in that position of leadership and power, instead of risking that edge and pushing myself to a place where I would be the one that was learning. to be in the position of student. And this is where I think retreats came into my life and kind of showed me that I am the student and pushed me beyond my comfort zone. Obviously, traveling internationally will do that for many, but for me, it pushed me into that space. And I remember going on some of these experiences and they were life-changing. And I would say that that is what kind of elevated my frequency each time, right? So why am I talking about this today, right? This is past work. This is work I did in my 20s for sure. But I'm talking about this because this work is still here. And I can't tell you how often I hear incredible, amazing people say, I am too much. I am too much to love. I'm too much to be around. I am too much to be in community with. And I have recently felt it. It's a really challenging thing when a lesson or a belief system you've learned in the past reemerges into the present. And for me, it's always a different iteration, right? I'm open to growth and learning, but this one was tough because I'm used to navigating this one well. I believe in my full expression of self. I believe in my fullness, but divorce, that can crush you in a way that I don't think a lot of other things can. And for me, experiencing someone leave when I was the most vulnerable, when my light was the dimmest, having somebody leave me in that space, I think was the ultimate betrayal. Because you leave me when I'm my brightest and you leave me when I'm lowest. So at what point does someone stay? And I had to reframe this hard. I've been single now for a couple of years. I haven't really had any big relationships, dated a little bit. And my friends have been dating and finding success and finding love. And it's incredible. It's beautiful. I absolutely love watching people fall in love. But I'm not. And it's really hard. It's really hard to be in the space of just not having anyone be interested in you. And for me, it's a couple of different things. I think I'm looking for quite the unique partner. I think I'm looking for somebody who can not only match me, but lead me. And you don't find that person every day. But I also think that I'm looking for something a little different than the typical relationship. And my friends have met incredible partners. Okay. They're a perfect match in every way. But I am growing in a different direction than they are. Not better, not higher, just different. And my path is a path of leadership. It's a path of going first. It's a path of making a new path, a new trail for everyone. And so it's a bit lonely. And, on top of my friends meeting people and kind of transitioning into divorce land, I'm not getting invited to the same stuff that I was getting invited to. There's a lot of things they're doing without me. Double dates, honestly, lots of things. And it was really tough for me to watch this happen. It's like I'm being slowly and unconsciously left out. And not a single one of these people don't want to be my friend. Not a single one of these people are ill-willed in what they're doing, but their lives are just moving in a different direction. And it's really tough for me to not take it personally. It's really tough to not be communicated with in the same way they communicate with each other. And my friend group is narrowing. My time is smaller. When they choose to go to the pool, when they choose to go have a glass of wine, get their nails done, I'm working. I'm leading. I'm doing self-work. And that time is sacred as well. And in order for me to reframe being left out, being too much, I have to acknowledge that I am making these choices. I'm making these choices to prioritize different things. I promise you, if I messaged any of these women and was like, I want to go to the pool with you, I want to do this with you, more than likely they would make plans with me. But they're not seeking me out. They're not messaging me first. They're not asking me to these events first. And this is a common theme in my life. And my good friend Ashley reframed this for me. And she's just like, that's because there's different things coming for you. If you're constantly busy and your time is full with all these incredible social events, you're not going to be open and ready to receive what is headed towards you. And I'm asking for some big things to be headed towards me. And they don't always involve my local community. I travel internationally regularly. I speak to people in different countries, in different states every day. My world is far beyond my local community. And so if I filled my time and my space and my social calendar with my local community, I wouldn't have time for expansion. And this is the toughest piece, because as a mother and as a woman, I want to be included. I want to be part of the local community. I want to go to all the soccer games. I want to be invited to all the parties. I want to go to all the dinners. I want people showing up on my doorstep to have a glass of wine. I don't think a single person has showed up at my door since I moved in. And this is just the path that is for me. And if I focus on, they're not showing up, they're not asking me if I'm okay, they're not coming to my house for a glass of wine, they're not inviting me to things. If I focus on that, I'm missing the message. The message is, these women love me and care about me. But my life is different. My expectations are different. My energy is different. What I'm calling in is different. And they feel it just as much as I feel it. And as they partner up and have these beautiful relationships and begin to lean into their coupleness, they're going to go on trips as couples. They're going to have parties as couples. They're going to do couple things. And I'm sure I'll be invited on some of those, but I'm not going to be invited to all of them. And probably even when I couple up, I won't be, because the person I'm going to couple up with is going to be someone who is also at the same energetic pace and level that I'm at, with lots of plans in different areas. And so being too much is about embracing the life path in which you are choosing. Being too much is about showing up for yourself and recognizing your too muchness is actually your deepest knowing. It is your path from the universe set out before you that says, of course, you're not going to be invited to that pool day. You're busy. You're busy doing things that deeply matter to you. And that pool day deeply matters to them. But it's not aligned with where you are at currently in this moment. And that is the hardest lesson, as I'm looking at those incredible pictures on Instagram and wondering why nobody invited me or even told me it was happening. And that is where you have to keep raising up that emotional bar and not get into this space of poor me, pity me. We can feel the sadness, we can feel the pain, and then we can be activated by it. Because I choose to spend a good deal of time in my life with ritual, with spiritual development, with leadership, with emotional regulation, with deep diving into expanding my knowledge in the therapeutic world, with investing in my business. I spend a lot of time and energy in that arena because that's what matters. And I love my friends and I love meeting them for things, but they don't need to take up all of my space. And the more that I compare myself to them and the more that I try and be like them, the less my life feels like me. Their world is different than my world. It always has been. I've craved wanting to be in that world since I was a little girl. I wanted to be the girl that got invited to parties. I wanted to be the girl that everybody was excited to see. I wanted all of those things. But instead, I'm the girl that leads those girls. I'm the woman they come to in their darkest hour. I'm the person that walks them through the fire. I am the person that shows them the new path. I'm not the person that stays on the path with them. And that's okay. And I want to invite all of you, I want you to ask yourself, where am I looking in my life at comparing myself to other people and saying, I want that, and not acknowledging what your path truly is, not acknowledging who you truly are, what you're meant to be. Think about Olympic athletes or pro athletes and how much time and energy that they spend in training and performing and showing up. It is a lonely life. They've got their team members, they've got their trainers, they have people that they align with, but they're not doing the same social events that their typical friend is doing. I love my community. I love spending time with my children, and I love my business, and I love spending time with you. And I know that the partner that can meet me in that space is coming for me. It's on his way. And I believe he's a leader too, and can get this on a level like no one else can. But for me to hold the space for that kind of person, I have to keep my standards high. I have to keep my too muchness too much, because that is my greatest attractor. That is what is pulling the right people into my life. My too muchness matches their too muchness. I often joke that I want Jason Momoa to, bump into me at a grocery store and he becomes my new man, which is hilarious because it's Jason Momoa and he's super famous. But that's what I mean. I'm attracting that kind of energy, right? I want that kind of leadership. I want that kind of level. It doesn't need to be super famous, but I want somebody who treads a different path. I am calling in the kind of energy that matches my energy. And there is nothing that is less than or better than. Please hear me when I say that. Leaders attract leaders. Players attract players. Athletes attract athletes. You attract exactly what you want and need in this life that best matches who you are as a partner. So the best thing you can possibly do is to find out who you actually are. So you're attracting the kind of people that match your truth versus the projected version of who you want to be. Because I'll tell you right now, I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. There's some part of me that wanted that life, that wanted that ease, that wanted that social connection. And it is a beautiful life. It's a hard life too, but it isn't the life I actually want. I'm not going to be able to attend all of the back to school nights and PTO meetings or all the parties. I'm not going to get invited to things. I'm not going to get my nails done every time I need to. I'm not going to go to every single charity gala, even though I love them, because I'm busy. And I'm busy with things that I've chosen to be busy with. So let's pull choice back into this, y'all. Let's pull choice back into your reality and look at your life, your schedule, your choices, and who you want to call into your world. This is the space of agency and power. I believe in you. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate every single second that you chose to set aside for you and the impact that you're going to have on the world today. To be inspired, to be seen,
and to hold space starts with the very actions we take with ourselves. Look at the show notes for more information. Like and subscribe, and share with friends if you feel inspired to. And as always, let the rest burn.